What's up guys, Shay Stevens here, PDJ number 77522, and today I'm here with the back nine of my casual round at Ockie Wisting Disc Golf Course. Let's get to it. Back nine starts off with a 213-foot ace run. This is a real fun hole. It calls for a putter turnover shot or a forehand. I prefer the putter turnover. It's actually a little more open on the left side than you think. You just don't want to turn in early. The green is a little tight as well. So I'm queuing up my MV here. And it felt great out of my hands, but I forgot to notice the crosswind. I couldn't really feel it on the tee there, but you can see the trees moving. Kind of beat my disc down early, so I have a long circle's edge look. But still managed to knock it down to start with a birdie. Hole 11 is a 345-foot par 3. This shapes really well for a backhand turnover drive. There is also a secondary fairway on the left. I think you can probably get a forehand up, but I'm going to go with the turnover. So I'm lining up my Fission Photon here. And I throw the perfect angle on it, but I do cut the corner a little tight, clip some branches, and I thought I got knocked down short right side. But luckily I actually punched through here and gave myself a long look at birdie. Just outside my step putt range, so I'm going to try for a throw-in with the entropy. And just a little short, right off the front of the basket. Hole 12 is a 321-foot par 3, hard dog leg to the left. Traditionally I've thrown a phase on this hole, just something really overstable to make the corner. But I have been working on throwing that extreme hyzer with a flippy disc, so that way you get to turn around the corner and glide for extra distance. So I'm going to be taking my Fission Photon here on some hyzer. Out of my head, I love the angle, but I throw it just a bit too low, so this one actually pushes a little more forward into the rough. It's about where I usually end up with the phase, so I want to play with that some more. Look at another entropy upshot. And flashes right in front of the chains, about a foot or two short.
Catch the basket.
So, going to be dropping in another par. Hole 13 is a 480-foot par 4. Even for big arms, I don't think the eagle's in play just because of the ceiling. The hole should be cut into two pieces. You want to try and land at least in the fairway, preferably out the gap, to have your upshot to get up and down for your birdie. I have gotten cheeky in the past with a Fission Photon, riding the right side rough and finishing back in the fairway, and I'm going to try that shot again. Hit my line perfectly, but I do catch a tree limb and it knocks me straight down. So I'm in this right side cutout here. I do have an anhyzer line into the green, but there's some branches up high that are scaring me. So I'm just going to play this nice and low, make sure I get out into the field, maybe have a look, but definitely I'll be able to save par. That's what I'm left with. So execute that turn over here, leave myself a long step putt for my birdie save. Put a good move on it, but come in a little short. And tap out my par. Hole 14 is a 250-foot par 3 with two fairway options. Players can play it safe to the right-hand side, or they can try to cut through the trees to give themselves a drop-in birdie. I am dealing with a bit of a headwind, though, so I am concerned about keeping this disc low out of the branches, and I have just been pinned up against those trees before and had no look for my birdie, so I'm going to try and take the inside gap on the right here. So just forehand my Eclipse Reactor, hit the mouth of the gap. I'm going to have a bit of a long putt here, but it's a nice clean look. And I get my birdie. Hole 15 is a 253-foot par 3. There's a wall of trees blocking this green with two gaps to choose from. I used to go over the top with an anhyzer shot. However, I swear these trees got taller, and I got older, so don't think that's one's in the cards for me anymore. So I'm going to try the right side gap because there is a left to right crosswind here, playing my overstable volt. And I don't hang this one out to the right enough, and I end up in that middle island. But I do punch through a bit and give myself a nice open look here. Gonna try the Electron Entropy. Chain out. I was hoping the wind would ride me a little more to the right, but no luck. Hole 16 is a 291-foot par 3 dogleg to the right. You have to hit this initial gap to carry out into the open field. I believe they've also added staked OB on the left-hand side. Usually I throw a relay on a turnover here, but I am playing that crosswind right to left, so I am disking up to a photon here. I'm going to try and hug this right side rough a bit, just to make sure my disc gets over to the basket. So there's a big huck, and I do ride the right side a little tighter than I would have liked, but I end up punching all the way through and giving myself a nice birdie look. Swatting some bugs, setting up. Swear I hear somebody yell 4 behind me. Thought this was going to be coming in on me. But I reset. And take that birdie. Hole 17 is a 495-foot par 4. This is a really good 2-shot hole unless you have a monster forehand or you're lefty. Off the tee, you need to beat this initial gap here. You need something that carries the right side pretty far before fading to beat the gap and also not wind up in some bushes that continue down the left-hand side. So throwing a hyzer flip to not quite flat, rides into that headwind really nicely and puts me in really great position. So just out of frame on the left here are those bushes you need to avoid, and there's this big guardian tree. That bush on the left is obscuring the basket, so I need to go around this. Time for a James Conrad-esque turnover envy shot. And I execute really nicely. I end up about 12 feet to the left of the basket. Get another good birdie down the stretch to get. Ockie Wisting concludes with a 343-foot par 3. In terms of dream courses, guys, this is my dream 18th hole. When I took my friend here for the first time, he said it looked like Augusta. And he's actually been there, so I'll take his word for it, but it's beautiful. You're up on a 30-foot high plateau, throwing down over these rolling dunes. Basket is basically straight ahead. It's just a real fun way to end your round. So I'm dealing with that crosswind. You don't want to go into that stuff on the right. It's super thick. I've been there. Not a good time. So I'm going to try and play a bit of a hyzer flip here, trying to work with the wind. So it looks good, but the wind kind of checks it down. Doesn't really get to flat. So I do come in a little short here, and I actually was looking for this one for a little bit. The card behind me, I actually let them play through, and as they were coming down, I finally found it. It was one of those, standing on perfect edge, right on the edge of the rough. So I just catch it here. So I have a straddle putt with this tree in my way. I can't get a hyzer, so I've got to try and throw around to the left. Perfect height, but just kiss the chain. Left myself a decent comebacker, unfortunately, for the par save. But I knock it down to end my round. So, thus concludes my round at Ockie Wisting, guys. I love this course, and I will always play it when I get the opportunity. Alright, that was my round at Ockie Wisting Disc Golf Course. I hope you enjoyed watching. Huge shout to the Cape May County Disc Golf Club. You guys are killing it. Every time I go back, the course is in great condition. I see all the little tweaks you guys are making. It's always getting improved. It can't be easy working on that plot of land with all the restrictions, but you guys are killing it. So, thank you for all your hard work. Say, if you're ever in the South Jersey area, guys, down by the shores, check it out. It's worth it, especially off-season if you don't like the bugs. It's a great course. With that, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me. I'll do my best to answer them. Take care. Thank you for watching this back night of my casual round at Ockie Wisting Disc Golf Course. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this and other disc golf content. Lastly, thank you to my sponsor. For all your disc golf needs, check out Basket Bashers Disc Golf.